It's finally summer. I've been enjoying the warm summer mornings. It's so peaceful waking up early, before the rest of the world does. When the birds and your footsteps are the only sounds that you hear. Out here, it feels like time stands still. After weeks of dry weather, we finally got rain. The garden exploded with growth, turning itself into a wild, edible jungle. I was out of town this past weekend, and when I got back, I noticed that a few pests found their way into my garden. I spent the next morning picking slugs off each plant and cabbage worms for my brassicas. The pest issues and damaged plants made me eager to start planting more seeds. I also had a lot of cleanup to do, trimming off dead leaves and removing plants that had reached its end. That's one of the most beautiful parts about gardening, knowing that it's never done, nor expecting it to be, or wanting it to be. It's a cyclical process, always changing, much like the other life on this planet, including ourselves. We too are always changing. Just after the summer solstice, the moon was in its light phase and in the flowering signs of Virgo and Libra. So I decided to add more color to my garden and planted some flowers. After that, the moon moved into the very fertile sign of Scorpio, so I planted more above grounders to replace the brassicas that the pest devoured, such as kale and collard greens. But I also planted more lettuces and herbs. Last year, we excavated our pasture area to expand the creek and created 2 new channels for the excess water to flow through that was causing a lot of flooding. Because of the water issues we had been having, I haven't planted anything in this area since we moved here a few years ago, other than a few trees. Tall grasses and goldenrod now flood the pasture. But later this month, I'll be planting bamboo here, so I wanted to get out and begin to clear the land for the new plantings. I borrowed an old scythe from a neighbor, and the blade was good, but it just wasn't cutting through the tall grass as I had hoped.
Take my heart, I love you. Don't let us part, I love you. Dear little girl, sweet little girl, sweeter than the rose of Erin, are your winning smiles endearing. Take my heart, your glances with Irish art and trances, come be my own, come make your home in my heart.
We'll have to find another way to clear this area. Unfortunately, this spot is surrounded by water, or else I would use the goats. Now that summer is here, I'm working outside early in the morning. There's something magical about walking outside, letting the sun greet you, and starting your day with fresh air and morning dew. It's my favorite time of the day. There's a stillness before the busyness of the day begins. It's almost as though you can hear the trees talking to one another, watching them sway back and forth in the breeze, and hear the birds sing as the sun rises. The goats are up and full of energy, looking for food and their morning rubs. Our day is just beginning while the rest of the world sleeps.